Ooh. Look out now. Hang on.
I lived in Mississippi for 6 years.
Which part of Mississippi?
I was in Columbus, Mississippi.
That's a little bit mid part of Mississippi, isn't it?
Yeah, a little northern, but yeah, it's pretty much mid.
Yeah, that's
Mississippi.
Mississippi. That's up north. That's
It's
up
only
north.
about 45 minutes from the state line.
Which state line?
Alabama.
West or east? Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, definitely west, of course. Blah, duh.
Yeah.
But there's a 6 or 7 hour drive south to north from the far end of Mississippi to Alabama, or either side from the south part of Mississippi or Alabama to the north part of Mississippi or Alabama is a 6 hour drive. So,
yes, yes, it is. I found that out when I thought I could make a quick jump down to the Panhandle, and it wasn't such a quick jump.
Yeah, it would. It would take me probably 6 hours to get from Mobile to Birmingham.
What? 6 hours?
5 or 6 hours, yeah.
Really?
From Mobile to Birmingham, yeah.
Huh.
Depending on traffics.
Yeah, it's a bigger state than I thought it was.
Yeah, north or south it is, yeah.
Yeah. I think of Birmingham being in the middle of the state.
No, Birmingham's a little bit north. Okay. Montgomery is the middle-ish. As the interstate flows. As the interstate flows, yeah.
So do you go through some kind of pregame ritual, or do you have you gonna throw a party, you just hang out by yourself?
Tomorrow is going to be a selfie day tomorrow. Yep. My wife and kids are going to their grandmother or to her mother's house, so I'm just gonna grab some beers and maybe cook some wings and pizza and stuff, and I'm gonna have a football party all by myself.
Nice, good stuff.
And we're gonna roll Tide tomorrow all by myself.
Anybody else you want to see tomorrow? Any other decent games?
I haven't checked the schedule, but hold on, let me check.
Ridiculous myself.
Let me check.
This is the best weekend of games we've had.
Let me check on ESPN.com.
Really good. Dan,
I'm looking at ESPN.
Well, since you're an SEC guy, you got Tennessee, Arkansas are playing. You got Ole Miss and Florida. You got Texas A&M, Mississippi State. So,
well, I'm an SEC fan, but I do like, there are several other teams I like too. But let me see that I like to watch anyway.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I've got
TCU and Texas are playing tomorrow. Oklahoma, West Virginia.
Now,
Wisconsin, Iowa is a pretty big game.
Let's see here. What's happening tomorrow? I'm looking at South Carolina, Missouri. That's a SEC game. Oklahoma, West Virginia. Yeah, that should be a game worth watching. You sure?
Yeah,
of course. Michigan State. I like watching Michigan State because I love the Spartans. Did I say that out loud? I don't know why. I just always have. I've been a fan of their university, some of the university programs that they do. I've always been a big fan of them. I like Ohio State, actually.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
Even though they beat us last year, but I still like them. I'm not mad at
Indiana is off to a good start at 4-0. I don't think it's legit, but that's that game.
Ohio State's going to stomp them, and that's okay.
I would think so. Yeah,
I would think so. Let's see here. What else do we have?
UCLA, Arizona State. Well, you know what the big game is outside of your game is Clemson-Notre Dame.
Anything with Notre Dame is going to be a good big game, of course. Yeah. They don't call it NBC the Notre Dame Broadcasting Channel for nothing, right?
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Did I say that out loud?
You did. Mm-hmm. And if NBC's watching, that would be great for me. I would love that. Not happening.
All right, let's see here. What else do we have? East Carolina. I think they're a very underrated team for what they have to work with.
They just beat Virginia Tech last week.
Mm-hmm. Ole Miss and Florida. There's one.
Yeah.
There's a good SEC game.
They're both undefeated.
Arkansas and Tennessee. It's all about putting the proper emphasis on the proper syllable.
Yeah, you do that well.
Uh-huh.
Baylor and Texas Tech.
That's a rivalry there. That's
a rivalry. The over-under, Dan, on that game is 91 points.
Oh, I'll take that spread all day long if I were a betting man. Mm-hmm.
What, under?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're going to put some points on the board.
Yeah, not that many. Texas A&M and Mississippi State. That's going to be one worthwhile.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good game. They are in College Station, so I think the Aggies are going to take them. I think the Aggies.
Notre Dame and Clemson, a good independent and a ACC team. Yeah, that's going to be worth watching too. Yeah. Oregon and Colorado. Okay, Oregon and Colorado. There's one. There's one that a lot of people aren't going to. Well, everybody's going to be paying attention to it. What are your thoughts on Oregon and Colorado?
Well, I don't know if you caught the Oregon score last week. They lost 62-20 to Utah.
Mm-hmm.
They got crushed, unlike anything we've seen Oregon do in a lot of years. Now, their starting quarterback has a broken finger, Vernon Adams.
Mm-hmm.
And Colorado is a lot better than they've been in recent years, but they're still at the bottom of the Pac-12. But they come in at 3-1. They beat Colorado State, who's a decent team. So this is usually like a 4 or 5 touchdown, 6 touchdown game, but Oregon's only an 8-point favorite in this one. So it could be fairly interesting. And Colorado, if there's any reason to watch them play, they've got a kid, Nelson Spruce, who caught like 120 passes last year. He's an NFL wide receiver to be. That's my Colorado take for you.
All right. So what's your final call on this one?
Oh, you want a prediction on Oregon, Colorado?
Oregon, Colorado. Yeah.
Oregon's going to win this game 41-30.
41-30, 11 points. I think Oregon's going to be a little bit more badass offensively. I think.
Okay.
I think.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I think.
We've got a question about UCLA and Stanford next week.
UCLA and Stanford. Oh, Stanford all day long.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. UCLA was my pick out of the Pac-12 at the start of the season to win the conference championship and get to the college football playoff. They're off to a good start. They trashed Arizona last week, made them look really bad, had 42 points on the board at halftime. Stanford lost to Northwestern, as everybody knows, in week 1, but they've played much better. Went to L.A., beat USC at the Coliseum, and then followed that up with a nice win against Oregon State. Really, 2 really good teams, legitimate top 15 teams. UCLA at Stanford. I'm not making a prediction on games that are 2 weeks away. I'm not doing that.
I'll go ahead and jump on that grenade.
Okay.
I will say Stanford because Stanford has the talent.
They do. UCLA doesn't have the talent.
No, they have talent.
Oh, okay.
But Stanford, I just think Stanford's just going to bring it all together, man.
I think Stanford's what they have working for them in this matchup is that they're at home. They have a veteran quarterback, a senior quarterback in Kevin Hogan, taking on a true freshman for UCLA and Josh Rosen. And Stanford always plays physical football. The last several times they played UCLA, they have just beaten them up because they love to slug it out in the trenches. And they've got a big offensive line, and they got a front 7 on defense that can go all day. And even though they're a little thin along the defensive front, Stanford beat a favored UCLA team in the last game of the season when UCLA was playing for the Pac-12 championship game, and Stanford crushed Brett Huntley and company 31-10. So I'm making your argument for you, Dan, but I still will probably take UCLA. But again, I got to see these 2 teams play this Saturday before I can talk about the next week.
Oh yeah. I'm not mad at you for that, but I really do think that Stanford they're going to pull it together more than a lot of people appreciate. You articulate it much better than I do, but
I'm like engrossed in this stuff, like
I get it
all day, every day. This is what I do.
That's what you do. Uh-huh. I'm a hobbyist, so yeah, I'm not. I get it.
Well, my financial intake from this would tell you that I'm a hobbyist too.
Okay. Well, all right. I wasn't going to go there, but that's none of my business. So, all right, here we go. I don't know if you know anything about these two teams. They're really, really, really small teams in the Southern Alabama area. South Alabama versus Troy.
Well, it's funny that you bring up South Alabama because their coach Joey Jones comes on my show on a fairly regular basis.
For real?
Joey Jones. Just
See,
had him
I'm a South Alabama alumnus.
Nice.
Yeah.
I am extremely impressed with the way they've built that football program to not be playing football.
That quickly.
Yes, to just say we're diving into it, FBS Division I right out of the gate, and we're going to start scheduling South Carolina, Mississippi State, North Carolina,
Notre
State,
Dame,
Nebraska,
all that. They're not scared.
All of a sudden, they're scheduling big time teams, and sure, they're getting their bell rung most of the time, but they also took Tennessee to the wire last year in Knoxville. So it's impressive what he's done there. He almost won a conference championship the last 2 years in the Sun Belt. I know that they've had a bit of a rough go this year. I think they lost a lot from last season, but they had a real rough go at NC State last week or the weekend before. I think it was last Saturday, like 66-13. But South Alabama, it's impressive in 5 years to build a football program out of nothing and compete in the Sun Belt Conference. Yeah.
Yeah, so South Alabama versus Troy. I don't even know what to make of that one.
Yeah, I
got nothing on that game. I got nothing because Troy has Troy State University, which is also an Alabama team. That university is in Alabama. That's a tough call. Let me go back up the line here.
I'm going to jump off here in just a second.
Okay. All right.
My daughter actually just walked in the door.
Okay. One more before you go. Georgia Tech and North Carolina.
Georgia Tech, North Carolina. Okay. Yellow Jackets, Orange Bowl winners last year. They lost their 3 primary running backs from last season, and they run a triple option. So obviously the running back position, the A and B backs, extremely important. But Justin Thomas back at quarterback's only completing 41% of his passes this year. So he's had a rough start. They've lost their 2 games against big opponents, meaning Duke last week. They were a 2-touchdown favorite, lost at Duke. And the week before, they lost at Notre Dame, and the score is kind of deceptive. They lost 30-22, but it was 30-7, and they scored 2 garbage touchdowns. So Georgia Tech has not met expectations. North Carolina pretty good with Marquise Williams at quarterback. Mitch Trubisky's his backup, and he came into the game when Williams was nicked up last week. And so the big upgrade for North Carolina this year is that Gene Chizik, who you may remember from Auburn fame, is now their defensive coordinator, and he has kind of righted the ship. They were a mess on defense last year. They gave up 73 points in one game to East Carolina last year, and they are much better on defense. And North Carolina, aside from totally outplaying South Carolina and then finding a way with 3 interceptions to blow that game, they would be undefeated, but they're 3-1 right now. Games in Atlanta, Georgia Tech's like a 6.5 or 7 point favorite. I'm taking Georgia Tech to win, but I would take the touchdown with North Carolina.
Yeah, if you were going to bet money on it, yeah. I think that's going to be a good game right there.
Yeah, it's an important game too.
Well, Mark, well done, bro.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate you jumping on here, man.
Man, I look forward to running into you again on the Blabs with some college football talk, especially maybe on a Sunday when we can talk about what happened instead of predicting stuff. Yeah. Awesome.
All right, man. Well,
I just followed you on the Blabs and followed you on the Twitters. I got you, bro.
I will follow you, sir.
Man, absolutely enjoyed it, man. Good to run across you.
Yeah, definitely. And enjoy the game tomorrow.
Man, I'm gonna do my best.
Yeah,
Roll Tide.
It'll be a good one. I'm picking your boys to win.
Yeah, they should. Ideally, they should. They've got, yeah, ideally, but we all know how that works. They're playing in Athens, so